What's up everyone? Trevor here with another video. Today I'm setting up some DKL. It's rubber grip tape. You can see it kind of looks like a ping pong paddle. Very interesting stuff. I really like to use it for practicing and learning flip tricks. Anything where I have to flick my foot, it's going to really mess your shoe up. And when you're practicing and learning, you tend to mess your shoe up even more than normal because you probably aren't doing it right. So this is one of my favorite things to use for having a separate setup just for learning flip tricks. I'm setting it up on a used board actually. This is an old board that I had. It's an Amplitude skateboard company deck. Amplitude is based out of Bali, Indonesia. It's not too shabby. You know, it's good for street skating, I think. So yeah, 825. That's what I usually ride these days. But yeah, so DKL, it's a little bit different setup than normal grip tape, and I'm going to go over that in this video. So just like when you set up normal grip tape, and if you don't know how to do that, go check out my other video on that. But basically you're going to line up the grip tape with the deck. Usually kind of try to like to use it along the edge of something just so I have an idea of, you know, where that is, and then I kind of look above the top section here, look at below, and use my middle finger, my index and thumb are pinching the grip tape. Use the middle finger to touch the edge of the board. See, like right here, I'm doing that to kind of line it up properly on the edge. And then once I have it right where I want it to be, then I know. So that's it. So let's go ahead and unpeel the grip tape. So DKL is rubber grip tape. It's a little bit different. It's not like sandpaper, so it's a little bit harder to like find the edge. Sometimes when you're peeling it off too, the paper will stick to it, and you're gonna have to kind of like struggle to get it off all the way. Let's see how this peel goes. Oh, that one's perfect. All right, so that's good. This stuff is really sticky, more than regular grip tape, so just be careful when you're handling it. If you drop it and you're in the wrong place, you got to pick it up again. It's going to be hard to get off the board, so just be careful. So what I like to do is keep it taut, like keep it tight between my hands. Again, line it up perfectly and drop the middle point where you think it should be perfectly, and then you kind of like put the edges down here. Okay, and then you just sort of push it out. Now DKL grip, as of the making of this video, I'm not aware that it is perforated, or they have any perforated versions of it. I was always wondering why they don't, but it's not too hard to pop out the air bubbles, and I'll show you how to do that, because usually there's almost always air bubbles. Like as you can see, there's a fat air bubble right here, just already starting to form. So anyways, all right. So I didn't really line this up perfectly, as you can see, but it doesn't really matter either. Because unlike regular grip tape, you don't need to scrape the edge of it before you cut it. You just need to press it into it slightly so you can see where the edge is at. So just kind of press the edges in. Oops, I'm really filming this wrong, aren't I? Press the edges in to the grip tape, like so. And you should see the board profile through the grip tape at this point. Any knife will work, but they do recommend using a brand new one that you haven't cut regular grip tape with. So if you have cut regular grip tape with a knife, just open it all the way to the part that isn't been used yet, usually. And then I like to make a little indent into the edge of the board first to start. Unlike regular grip tape, it's a little bit harder to press through to the edge. And I'm going to lean over here a bit, so I'm going to put the camera up. All right. So once you put the little edge in the grip tape, I'll put that closer, you can see what that looks like. All right. Then you're just going to kind of put the edge of the knife onto the edge of the board and start to kind of gently go up and down with it until you get that point. And you'll kind of start to see right where you're cutting that there's like a line of the little dots or whatever. So try to cut along the same line if you can. And keep in mind, you're going to want to cut it in just a little bit more than you would regular grip tape. If you feel yourself sticking, it's probably because you're cutting into the deck. So don't go any further. I'm actually going to just put the blade down now because it's making it a little bit more difficult. But as you can see, the edge on this blade is a little bit dull, so it's not ideal. Ideally, you'd have a sharper edge. Don't worry too much about making mistakes, because really this stuff is very difficult to cut. It's never going to be perfect. You can do a really good job with regular grip. This stuff is like extremely difficult to cut, so don't give yourself too much of a hard time about it. But yeah, if you can try to find just the right edge point, you'll be able to get a pretty clean go at it. All right, as you can see, I did not too shabby of a job there. All right, cool. Looks like we're doing pretty good here. So, turning the board around to match where you're at. It's always going to make it easier for you. All right. So just doing this right now, I can kind of get the feel like I'm going to have to cut it in more. So the one thing about this rubber grip tape that is way different from normal grip tape is that it almost always is going to fray. So what that means is these edges here are going to come off and it's going to like curl up and stuff. That is a totally normal thing with this grip tape. And what you have to do after a while is you just have to cut the edge down more. When you start to see it fraying up, you just bring a knife with you before every session, almost every session it's going to happen. And you just got to cut the edge off where it frays out. So just keep that in mind. Usually I like to bring an X-Acto blade with me if it's like not a safe thing to do. You can just cut it at your house before you go out for the day to skate. Usually I don't even like to skate this grip tape outside at all, because generally speaking outside there's a lot of dust, sometimes some moisture, and that makes it very difficult to skate. So skating these, I like to skate them indoors where there's not so much dust or moisture. Now, next thing is you're almost going to have those air bubbles. So using that same X-Acto blade, like I was just showing you there, you're going to just find the air bubbles and you just, lightly tap on them and then they'll disappear. And what also helps to bring out the rest of the air bubbles is just to stand on your board, just walk around on it for a bit, which puts more weight on your board. You'll start to see more air bubbles. I see a couple there, there's still some more in the nose. And just, kind of hitting it with the razor blades usually enough. All right, that's that. The next thing, of course, you're gonna wanna poke these holes. So hopefully, like in the regular grip tape video I did, I have this Allen key here, which is super useful. So just take that and try to hit it a little bit faster and harder with more energy, because it's rubber, so it doesn't pop the same way that the regular grip tape does. And you really gotta, this stuff doesn't come out very easily, so. And that's the other thing too, is when you're putting bolts into this stuff, it's a little bit more difficult because this rubber is going to be sitting in the hole, so you just got to have to deal with that. It is what it is. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop these holes out. Cool. Alright, so that's it. That's how you set up DKL rubber grip. For this particular board, I'm going to be setting up Venture trucks, so that's what I've got laying around. If you don't know what's front or back, just try to figure out which one you skate more in certain ways. For me, I do more tail slides than nose slides, and obviously this base plate has way more tail slides than nose slides. So this is the back, that's the front. I'm goofy, so if you're regular, maybe you want to set up your board this way. I don't know, it's up to you. Okay, so yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and use the hardware, even though it's like kind of rusted. I live out here in Bali, Indonesia, and it's very humid, so hardware gets rusted pretty easily. So I'll just go through this, even though it's pretty much the same as setting up a regular board. Yeah, so as you're setting this up, usually I like to just do it on a flat surface, but getting those bolts in there is a little bit more work. It's really not that bad, honestly. It's about the same as setting up a regular board. But yeah, you kind of see what I mean. They kind of stick out the top more because of that rubber that's sitting there. instead of the paper. The paper you can kind of cut away and press away, and it's not so thick. But this rubber stuff is like really thick, so kind of a pain in the butt. But it is what it is. All right. So setting up the trucks the same way as a regular board. Your bolts aren't going to be as farther through, but yeah, for this I'm using 7/8 inch Allen shake jump hardware. The reason why I like Allen is it doesn't strip, and yeah, it's a lot easier to tighten down because you're not going to be having the tool fall out of the hole. Ventures, I like them for street skating, not so much for like transition. But yeah, they're great for street. So that's why I'm putting it on this deck, because this, I have a specific thing in mind with this, and that is to do flip tricks, learn more flip tricks. Maybe like skate ledges and stuff. So as you can see, it's actually really easy for me to get this hardware on. It like kind of goes right through the rubber. Like the rubber is very soft compared to the regular paper grip tape, whatever you call it, abrasive grip tape. So you got to be a little bit gentle with it. One thing that I've noticed is after a session, sometimes your hardware will be a little bit loose because you don't want to push it through so hard in the beginning. But that's basically good enough. You just want it flush with the deck. Nothing too crazy. Alright, always make sure that the kingpin is facing inwards when you're setting your truck up. Don't make the mistake of putting it outwards, or your trucks will not turn the right direction. Alright. Yeah, the reason why I really like DKL, though, besides just not messing your shoes up, is that if you wear shorts when you skate, sometimes you're doing flip tricks, the board will hit your leg and it scrapes your skin and you get cuts really easily that way. Some people have like tougher skin than others. I've got pretty sensitive skin, so my skin can get ripped up pretty easily. So with regular grip tape, I stopped skating a lot of doing a lot of flip tricks in the street and stuff. I just mostly skate transition with my regular board, and with my street skating, or more, let's just say with my technical skating, I like to use this stuff because if the board hits my leg, it doesn't scrape my leg, it doesn't mess up my shoes as much. I'm really not trying to film a part or go pro or do anything, so just having fun with it. This makes a lot more sense. I'm in my late 30s now, and in life you begin to realize risk versus reward is a big thing, especially when you have responsibilities like a job or a family to take care of, and especially when you're traveling and it's a higher risk. Like if you get badly hurt, you'd have to go to a local hospital and pay out of pocket and all this stuff. So yeah, if you guys want travel insurance, definitely click the link in the description. Get some safety wing travel insurance if you're traveling. Alright guys, that's it. So that's DKL. As you can see, I didn't really set it up perfectly. The little logo's off to the right a little bit, which is gonna probably bug me, but who cares. But yeah, that's another thing. You can get it where there's no logo. If you're curious and you want to get some DKL, definitely click the link in the description. It'll take you over to, I believe there's actually a few links I can provide. One's directly to their website, the other's to an e-commerce platform like Amazon or something. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Maybe check out some of my other videos where I can show you skating with DKL versus regular grip or something like that. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you out there. Peace.